everyone.
Cool.
My name is Lilia, and I am from the Firefly product marketing team. I usually focus on making sure that whatever we create, develop, makes sense for our customers. I asked Gus and Aaron to start hosting these hangouts so we can not just show you how Firefly works, but also get super valuable feedback that we can use later in our product roadmaps.
Thanks, Lilia. Yeah, super happy to have you here. If anyone's curious about more details of what does the product marketing manager do and anything like that, feel free to let us know in chat. We may not have a high level of familiarity in Discord on your role, Lilia, so that might be interesting for them. Um, Also, hi everyone. I'm Gus Martin. I work on the community team. Aaron and I work on the Discord server here and on a bunch of other fronts just to make sure that we're supporting you all. And so we're just going to be playing the role of facilitator and host today. And I'm just going to be kind of keeping tabs on chat. So if you have questions while we're talking, and today's activity is participatory. So if you want to participate, make sure you check out the chat in the top right corner of this Hangout. I'll go ahead and turn it over to Aaron.
Hello, I'm Erin. You've probably seen me in announcements and other channels. I'm also on the community team with Gus, and we're just always thinking about how we can do things to make Discord a fun, engaging space for you and connect you with people like Lilia at Adobe who really want to hear what you think about Firefly. So, really glad you're here today. And yeah, that's me.
Cool. Thanks, Aaron. Okay, so correct me if I could be wrong, but I think today we're going to be playing a prompt remixing game. Is that the plan?
Um, Actually, a little
Or is
change
it
of
something
plans.
else? Okay, cool. Yeah,
I
fill us
was
in,
actually
Lilia.
playing, yeah, I was playing with like the photo settings yesterday, and I thought would be really cool to show how we can change photos. So not just illustrations, but photos in Firefly with like really cool stylizations. So I wanted to like just share some examples and then also hopefully get some really cool stylization examples from people in this hangout. Another thing I wanted to also show is the logo creation. So we do have the text to vector in Illustrator, but we don't have it in Firefly. But I feel like Firefly is a really good place to start with just concepting logos because, like, it really uh, gets really detailed. And then we can also apply different styles to logos to like really get to whatever you're looking for. So it's not just, a logo, but it's something that actually resonates with your brand or with what you had envisioned. So I wanted to kind of jump into that as well. And also one announcement that I think we can make before we start on the activities. So I noticed in some of the forums, people were asking, so we have right now the second model of Firefly. It's called Firefly Image 2, and it's a beta capability slash feature. So people were asking, so right now Firefly is not in beta anymore, and you guys have officially stated that we can use Firefly generated images for commercial work. So what does it mean if I use the Firefly image too? Can I still use it for commercial projects or not? And the answer is yes. So the official guidance from Adobe is that you can use the images you create from Firefly GA features, Firefly beta features for commercial work, unless we explicitly state in product in the UI that you cannot. So currently, we don't have any features on Firefly, the product, that are in that like in that category where like you cannot use whatever you generate in your commercial project, like in your work projects. So official answers, please generate, use in your personal projects, work projects, no problem, using any of the features of Firefly. So that's just a small announcement because like I've seen there's been quite a bit of confusion around that. Okay, so should we dive into the first activity?
Yeah, let's do it. Also, thanks for the clarity there. I wanted to actually ask you a follow-up question real quick, Lilia, when you said Firefly, the product. Can you describe for the people that are hanging out with us what that means? Because I think like the ecosystem of Firefly might be confusing sometimes from an outside
Confusing.
perspective.
Yes,
Yeah.
I know. I feel like, there's still some homework we need to do as the marketing team. The product is the website. So firefly.adobe.com. So it's the web app. We consider it a product. So whatever you do on firefly.adobe.com, it's called the Firefly product. So anything that you create in Firefly, in the product, as I said, it's all safe for commercial work. We also have Firefly features, right? We've got, yeah, AI features exactly in Photoshop, in Illustrator, in Stock, and Express. So, like, if you go to any of those products, and sometimes, um, actually, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think in Illustrator, the text to vector is still a beta feature. So when they actually explicitly state that it's a beta feature, don't use it for commercial purposes. So like it will be stated in product. So like in Illustrator, it will be stated by the feature itself that you cannot use it for commercial work, or you can. Like if it's not stated, then you can. So like that's the deal. Like so you just have like if you see a notification and it will be really explicit, then you'll know that okay, it's still in beta and it's still being improved. So please don't use it for commercial purposes. But yeah, so Firefly features in other products, firefly.adobe.com is the Firefly product. And I'm the PMM for the Firefly product. So whatever happens on the website is kind of within my realm.
Cool. Thanks, Lilia. Um, Sorry to derail a little bit, but I think maybe
Oh,
that was
no, this
helpful.
is
Let us know
important.
if you think it was. But yeah, we
Awesome.
can jump into the activity for today. You're welcome to share your screen. I think we figured it out from last time. So if you want to do that, go for
I
it.
think so, yes. Let me try. I'll do the entire screen. Let me know if it looks good to you.
Yep.
Okay,
Also, for
awesome.
folks watching, if you see Lilia's screen there on the screen share, if you click on it, it'll make it larger and you can see more accurately what's going on.
Okay, let me actually make it a little larger so it's definitely visible to everyone. So anyhow, let me just walk you through some of the features in Firefly 2, so like where you're aware of like what we have available as of now. So right now we're in the second model of Firefly. We've got the first model and the second model. I honestly don't ever go to the first model anymore because it's a lot worse than the second one. The second one is just definitely a lot better with generations and also the fine tuning capabilities. So when you generate images in the second model, we have two types of images that get generated. We've got the photo type or the art type images. You can just keep it at auto, and when you type in the prompt, Firefly, the model, will decide whether you're looking for a photo or an illustration, and then it will generate the first take for you. But then you can also go back and change the type of the image to illustration if you were looking for, like an illustration type of generation. So right now it's on the photo setting, and obviously you're getting like really realistic photos of this golden retriever. I love dogs, so I'm going to be using a lot of dogs in my examples. Sorry about that. So another thing that you can change while you're generating images is the visual intensity. What it does, it's like if you take the intensity all the way to the left, it's going to generate a very photorealistic image, just like a picture. So it just looks like a picture. If you take it all the way to the right, it's going to generate almost like a CGI look for you. So it's not going to be like as realistic. Well, let me just show you, like, regenerate this so you can see the difference. So it was set in the middle. So it's I like keeping it in the middle for the first generation just to see if what kind of look comes up, and then just play with the settings. So see, like not it's still realistic like, but you can see like it's got more of the like the CGI look than a photograph look. So let me just go back. And you can actually go back and forth between variations by just clicking back on forward buttons on your browser. So what I like about the style, so another thing that we've added in the second model is the ability to add different styles to your images. And I feel like it's not really obvious that you can apply different styles to photos as well. So up until like yesterday, I've been playing pretty much only with illustrations because I was thinking, well, there's like this wild, variety of styles you can apply. Obviously, like photos are not going to look good with these like random styles. So I realized actually you can play with the styles and get like a really interesting look in on some of the photos that sometimes you just want to kind of keep your images on a certain brand. So you want to like have specific color schemes or even the feel, right? Like maybe a little less detail, more detail. So you can just upload the images in the so it's the style section. Let me go back, just show to you where it is. Style section, and then there's the match subsection, and you can just upload your own image that has, like the style that you're looking for. So I'm just gonna go to the reference gallery and just pull up something like one of the images here. So I kind of like playing with the images for the photos from the photo studio. I tried this one. I was like, well, no way it's gonna look like a photo. I kind of liked how it turned out. So I guess they're like pre-populated because I already generated them. But like this is so cool, right? I mean, you can see how like it's really taking this really minimalistic image with the 3D feel and applying it to a picture. So it still feels really realistic, but it like really gives like a different feel to the image. Um, Another style I tried I really liked is this one. So let me regenerate it. So like as you can see, like again, it's like still keeping a very photorealistic feel of the image, but it's still like applying really cool textures. It's like it's not just applying the color scheme. It's actually looking at the image and it's seeing like, oh, there's some like 3D feel to it. And like it's taking some of the textures from that image and applying it like here to a tennis ball. So like it's a really cool way to play with the images and see like which elements get highlighted and like if you want to keep, let's say, your generations within the same style, just use the same image and apply it to all of your generations, and you will come up with the exact same feel and style for every generation. Let me actually let me take this out and let me share one of these images. I don't know, I think I like this one the most. So if you want to share your generations with others, so the best way to share is not to download and upload, it's just super manual. You can actually copy a link, and when, well, it's applying the credentials. So we know this is Gen AI, um, oops, sorry, Gen AI output, and then you can just copy that link in the chat. Well, and I don't know where the chat is.
We actually
Um,
have
This
a
is
bunch of
perfect,
people
actually.
join. Yeah, I'll let you go
Yeah.
for it, Gus. Go for it.
The top right corner, you see the number 20 that's hovering over that little.
yes,
There you go.
thank you, because
So for
usually my
anyone watching,
screen,
that's where you find the
yes.
chat. It's hard to
And
find.
Okay,
I also want to
sorry about that.
say
I'll get better at this.
that just like Lilia did, where she shared the link to her Firefly creation in chat, we'd love it if you all wanted to create alongside her and try out the stuff that she's showing out. And you can go ahead and pop those links in the chat so we can see how yours turned out.
Yeah, like this same exact image can look so differently. Another one I tried yesterday was so cool. It was like a space image, and it just looked like a dog was floating through space and trying to catch the ball. This one, I think. So please play with this. I feel like it's so cool to see how you can uh, really not just use the illustration, but the photo styles and try. Well, I like it's funny. Like the one I got yesterday, it like had a big bone like in the front. Let me try regenerating, but it's like it's super fun just to see how different this like the generations can look depending on the styles you're applying. And also I just love how you can still control how much of the realism you want to keep in your image. Oh, by the way, if you feel like I love this, but it just got a little too CGI for me. You can actually go back to the main menu, so the main settings menu, and then go back to style here, and then take the strength down. So what it means is you're taking the strength of the style you're applying to a lower end and regenerate. So ideally, what should happen is you'll get more of the photo and less of the style. And obviously, you can play with this and try taking the style all the way up and like see how that's gonna change. So let's see like if it's actually made a lot of difference. So you see like it's still the style is there, but it's just a little bit less of the starry night, like the sky and like the style applied to the image. So again, just play with this. I feel like it's really awesome and it like helps you with um, creating something really truly original. So I don't know if there are
Yeah,
any
these are awesome
questions in
tips,
the chat.
Lilia. We have one question. Raven Leah. Sorry if I'm getting your name totally mixed up. Let me know if that's off. But they're wondering if you can make an image with a transparent background.
Yes. So let's say you like any of these images. You can go to edit and then generative fill. What it does, it takes you to the generative fill module. And here you can just click on the background and voila, like you don't have the background. And you can just download this image. If you need to like make any more edits, like add a text or maybe even animate this image, you can go to these three dots and click on any of these options. What it will do, it will take you directly to Express, where you can actually take, and Express is a free application that we offer. It has some free features, a lot of the free features, and some premium features. So with the free features, you can add text, you can add some animations. So do a lot more things in Express if you wanted to. But that's how you remove background in Firefly through
Cool. Thanks,
going.
Lilia.
Mhm.
We have another question from D Human. Also, hey, good to see you, D Human. Well, not really a question, sort of a question. He's saying there seems to be a little bit of an issue with the model's ability to follow negative prompts, but he supposes this is related to Model 2 being in beta, question mark. Do you happen to know anything about that? If not, D Human, I can follow up with you afterwards too.
So let me actually go back. I don't know if can you please clarify if you're using the negative prompts in the advanced settings?
I
Because
believe
if not,
so. There's a screenshot of,
exclude
yeah,
from image.
exclude. Yeah, exactly.
Got it.
They've excluded four words.
Yeah, to be honest, yes, it's still being trained. Uh, Sorry, too many meetings and notifications. It's still being trained, and we are, working on actually putting out a new model. Like, don't have the exact timelines yet, where you can actually hover over specific parts of the image and just like delete them. You've probably seen that in the sneak peeks. It's currently called Project Stardust. So I feel like that's where you'll get a lot of the control over like what you want to exclude or delete. But currently, yes, I mean we do have the exclusion capability. It's frankly, I mean, it just got added, and it's just like anything that just got added to these capabilities. It needs some time to get trained. So it's getting trained. I'm sure it will get better and better with as time goes. No more questions? Sorry,
Oh,
guys, I don't see the
I'm
chat,
muted, of
so let me
course.
know.
Yeah, no problem. I think that's our only questions.
I
Okay.
think
Also, hey,
Well,
welcome,
let me.
Corneo.
someone wanted to quickly go over how you access the avoid words area.
Okay, so if you go back to the settings, so it's in text to image. Um, on the right hand side, you see all of the settings that you can use while generating. The very bottom, hidden, which will change with the next rollout, um, is an advanced settings section. So just click on advanced settings and you'll see exclude from image. Oh, if you're not in the US, it's only available in the US. Sorry, I did not mention that. So since it's not a localized feature yet, you can only type English words. We're actually rolling out localized exclude from image in a couple of weeks. So, but right now it's only available to US users. So that's if you don't see it and you're not in the US, that's why. Okay, let me quickly go over another example that I wanted to share with you. So a lot of people have been asking, so how can I create different types of logos? Because, like I want to make sure that they have a specific feel. They're maybe low poly, like vectorized, like look like vector logos. How do I do it with Firefly? Because, it just creates whatever it wants. So I just wanted to like give you a couple examples of like how I would go about creating logos and just trying different ways to come up with like the variations that you like. So one logo I tried this morning is um, like, well, I prefer to type the most important words first and then kind of like go from the most to least important words in the prompt. The logo, wolf, riding a bike. That's another hack I actually got from the research team that's working on the prompting. They said the algorithm usually goes word by word. So if you really want something in your image, make sure you put it first. Just
Oh,
another like tip
that's
for
super
prompting. So
helpful.
Yeah, that's great.
yeah, so like you got these logos, but obviously, there's a lot of detail. You might want to use some of them, might not. So to start changing the feel of the logo, you can upload sub like an image that kind of speaks to what you would like for the logo to look like. So I just got a couple examples that you can use while generating different types of logos. So example one. So this is just an example of a logo with the color scheme and also the level of fidelity. So just like kind of explaining to the model, hey, I want to use these colors and I want for my generation to be at that level of detail. And also like, like a little bit of the 3D feel. So this is kind of what you're getting. And what I noticed, because I uploaded an image of a head of a lion, it actually just generated like it decided that I'm looking for like the head of the wolf, right? So you can also play with like if you have an image of maybe the whole body. So if you upload that image, the model will actually decide, hey, she's looking for the body on the bike, not just the head of the wolf. So again, like you can play with different reference images, different like compositions that you're uploading for the references, and you'll be getting pretty different results. So like that's kind of like kind of like this one. So this is one example. Let's just try a different example. Oh, also another way to control the fidelity of the logo is through visual intensity. So if you take it a little bit down, so like so when you're creating art, so it's not photos, it's art. Um, the visual intensity means the level of detail you're creating in your logo in your outputs. So if you want something that's really low fidelity, just almost like just very little detail, take it down to like to the left. If you want a lot of detail, obviously take it up to the right. So we'll see what happens. Sometimes like it takes some practice and like playing to see like if you come up with like the right level of detail. So this one's kind of cute, but a little too much for a logo. And you can always obviously refresh and just see if the next version set of images works better than the previous set. And again, like if you were like, oh man, I actually like the previous set more, you can always go back in the browser and get to the previous sets. Well, this one actually turned out pretty cute. So we can try a couple more examples just to show you how different types of references affect the outcomes. So it's still the same prompt, but then the reference is this really dark, um, gray, black, a little 3D-ish reference image. So I was trying to come up with something like metal looking. And this is kind of like what you would get. So there's a whole body of a bird. So the model's like, okay, she's trying to generate something that looks like a wolf actually riding on a bike. So it would give you uh, these visuals. And again, I've put the visual intensity to the bottom. So let's try the next generation with a higher visual intensity. Oh, like this one. This one's kind of cute and funny. Yeah, so like see, I've pushed the toggle a little bit like to the middle, and it gave me results with more details. So obviously you can play and see if you like more details, less details. Since it's a logo, you might actually want a little less detail. And one more example where it's just really black and white outlines, just to show how you can play with different styles.
I also have pulled up, if it's interesting after we play with the logo on Firefly, I have Illustrator open too. And I was thinking what might be interesting is if you have a logo that you like from this, you could send the link to me. I can bring it into Illustrator and use it as a reference for a logo in Illustrator and see what happens.
Yeah, and I
Do
mean,
a
this
little.
would be a great workflow where you can bring the logo you create into Illustrator and then just trace the object and create vectors out of it. You know, if it's low fidelity like this, shouldn't be a problem to vectorize this logo that you like.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between text to vector and Illustrator? This is here you can apply your own styles, right? You can really like, and we're using image 2 for this. Text to vector is still using image 1, so there is a little less control over like what you're generating. But here, like you can really play a lot with completely different styles. Like if we go
Hmm.
back, like I mean, it's insane how many different varieties you can get just by using different reference images, different level of
Totally.
fidelity. Yeah, like really
Do
cool, right?
do you want to scroll through these real quick and see if anyone has a favorite that they like from some of these series of four, and then whichever one, send me the link to it, and then I want to try to do something in Illustrator with it. So maybe we'll
Awesome.
just flick through, and if one stands out to folks,
Yeah,
maybe
I have a
please,
favorite.
yeah, please
yeah.
let me know,
What's yours,
let us
Aaron?
know in the
We
chat.
need to go back to the one that was like kind of metallic. Let's see. Keep going. Keep going. The one on the left. I just love how it's sticking its tongue
This
out.
one?
Yeah,
That one's
hedgehog guy.
definitely my favorite. Um,
I
I
love this
Okay.
I
one.
also want to note while Gus is working on this, Lilia said the word control when she was talking about all the things that you can do with image 2, and that's something that we hear from people a lot, and there's a huge variety of what it means to have control over your end result. So if there are things that you want more control over, tell us, because we're paying attention to that right now. I mean,
Yes,
always we're
thank
always
you.
paying attention to what you're saying, but that has been a question we've seen come up a lot.
Yeah, and yeah, like that's exactly like I think this is such a neat product, like Firefly, just the Gen AI technology at Adobe, since we're just, starting out. I mean, we're building it as we go, right? And the way we're building it is through feedback. So we're trying to get as much feedback as possible to make sure that we're building something that will be used. So it's not just um, a cool feature, but it's actually something that people are asking for. So that's why like these hangouts, I'm so happy we're doing these because any feedback we're collecting, we're taking notes. So and we are putting a lot of these requests into the roadmaps. So please communicate out. I mean, if you see like They're like, oh man, I love this, but I wish it was done differently, or I wish I could do, this and that. Let us know. Don't be shy, because we are listening. Okay, I think that's it for today. Just wanted to kind of show two use cases, and I'll prepare more examples next time. But I kind of liked how you can really play with these styles, and people just think, oh, it's just stylizing illustrations. There's so many ways you can use this. It's just insane. Logos, banners, UX UI elements, a ton, ton of use cases. Oh, I
Sorry,
love
I was
this
muted.
one.
Yeah,
So
well,
this is one of the
that's
things that I
great.
think is super interesting on if you have access to Illustrator, you have access to the beta version of text to vector. And the way that it works when you're in here is there's a panel for it. You can then select whether you want a subject, scene. I can zoom in, hopefully. It's not doing it, a pattern. And then you can create something. So what I've done here is I've selected subject, and then I typed in logo of a wolf riding a bike, and it generated something for me, which is on the side here. And this is actually an area where I've had a lot of fun, Lilia. Like, it creates something. It may not be in the style that I want, but you can actually select it, and then use this picker to do a style picker. And it doesn't have to be vector. So you can generate something you like in Firefly, right? Like it's an image. And then we'll go ahead and select this. I'm going to think for a second, basically analyzing this image and adding it as a style. So then when I go back, it's got this saved. I can actually generate something new with the same prompt, and it's going to apply this style to it. So it's like a way I've found, I think, to get like more creative control on the logo output on the Illustrator side. So I just wanted to
Awesome.
show that real quick,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
we'll see
I
what it
need to
comes up
play
with.
more on the Illustrator. I feel like I've become this hardcore Firefly the website fan.
Yeah,
But
you
yeah,
know,
apps.
it's not perfect, but you can see it's closer, right? Like it
Yeah.
has shades of, and then what's cool in Illustrator is this is all
I think
vector, so
like,
you can
the
come in here
difference
and
between like Illustrator and Firefly. I
make
mean, Illustrator
adjustments.
obviously is you get like this um it's a
So
great help like in your workflow process. Firefly is like almost like, hey, I've got this idea, like, right? Or like, I really want to see what I can come up with, like, just by throwing all these random styles and prompts into Firefly and see what happens. So I feel like, that's the main difference I like see between like Photoshop or Illustrator, even Express and Firefly. Like, it's a really good like starting point for just getting the creative juices flowing.
yeah, for sure. I think it's also just like the options are pretty much endless. I think like this has always been the case with the tools that Adobe makes. Like your only limitation is how creative you can get with how you can like layer on tools and like try to do cross app workflows. But I think like with the advent of Firefly and its integration across apps and also being firefly.adobe.com on the web, like you can combo these things in such incredibly powerful ways that it's really neat. Like if you sit down for a couple hours and just experiment, you'll probably come up with something that maybe nobody's ever even tried before. And I think that's like really exciting. A little bit of a frontier moment.
Yeah, I love in the chat we're hearing Gen AI is the muse and that it's visual brainstorming. And it really is because, it takes a lot of work to put together a visual. But with Gen AI, you can just like get it going and then make it yours.
It's like we have a new influx of folks. Hey everyone, welcome. You've joined us right towards the end here. But we're going to be doing more of these. So the plan is to be doing Hangouts, Firefly Hangouts weekly with Lilia, myself, and Aaron. Maybe we'll also have some special guests periodically. What we did today is Lilia showed some really cool workflows on how to get more out of photo generations on the Firefly web app. And then also we played around with some logo creation. So Aaron's been recording this whole thing. We're going to upload it to YouTube right afterwards. If you missed it and you're like, hey, what happened? We're going to upload it. We'll share the link on Discord. You can check it out. And then if you're not aware of it, just for everyone's knowledge, and that very top column of all of the channels, there's this little one that says events. If you click on events, you'll be able to see all of the different hangouts we have scheduled throughout the week. You can go ahead and indicate that you're interested and add it to your calendar and do all sorts of fun stuff. So make sure you do that. Cool. That's my spiel. Anything else? Anything lingering? Thing you want to cover off on? Everyone good? Hey, thanks, Kingpin. Appreciate you sharing that. Kingpin's put an example of where to look there in the chat. Although it's not in English, so it looked different for me for a second. Okay,
This is
cool.
great.
We'll go ahead and wrap up for today. Aaron and I and Lilia, and actually a lot of the Firefly team, like we're on Discord a lot. So like again, this is just like one conversation of many. You can reach out to any of us anytime. We're really, really keen to hear your feedback. It's super important. I was actually just having conversations earlier today where we were looking at Discord and looking for feedback on very particular points for the product team. So what you share is actually hugely valuable to us, and we need it. So please keep doing it. Like I said, reach out anytime.
Yeah. Thanks,
Cool.
Gus. Thanks, Lilia.
It's always a pleasure. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate your awesome tutorial, Lilia. Did great.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm happy to share more
Nice. Yeah. Next week, we'll run it back.
next week. Yep.
All right, folks.
Okay.
Take care.
Bye.